I cannot believe the Panda Dunks are just sitting everywhere now. Literally going to my local Nike store. We didn't even get Dunks up until recently. Sitting. This is the second restock. JD Sports just announced. All sizes are there. Foot Locker had them the other night. Crazy. Hey, what up and welcome to another episode of Creased. Now on today's episode, I think we all been seeing it. I think it's been working its way there for a while, and resell is dead. Now, as far as the sneaker market goes, they've always held value. Whatever it's worth is what someone is willing to pay, right? The old one to cop, one to stock used to mean you saved them for years down the line so you could rock them out with a fresh pair and people go, damn, how's he got them so fresh? But then it turned into stock, as in stock to be sold. It's been going on forever, but when the pandemic happened, that's when it just went nuts. It was, you could almost say, artificially inflated. You had a lot of people that couldn't purchase sneakers. There was no in-store, no nothing. Majority of the country was shut down, here at least. And then you've got a bunch of like YouTube channels like Cool Kicks, Common Hype, and people are indoors, so they're going to be watching a lot more of that. The people that could purchase, like myself, Newcastle wasn't shut down initially. I would see people going nuts over all these Jordan 1 lows and mids, and I'm like, yo, these are just sitting at my store. But that wasn't the case for everyone. So the only way you were able to do it was online, and that's when the tent came in for, say, Foot Locker. So botting became very important. Now, when I say reselling is dead, there's always going to be a supply and demand aspect to this. What I mean by it is the people that kind of jumped on the bandwagon, the fly-by-night, it was, you know, if you're not passionate for shoes, there's no way you can sustain this when nothing is reselling. Everything is sitting, even at retail level. It's been oversaturated. Pairs that would probably sell X amount, they're maybe increasing even double that to make up for that artificial imbalance, because all the resellers buying up everything, right? If they're not doing that because things aren't selling, then the amount of pairs that are there, I mean, you don't have to look too hard and see with the end of financial year sales. Everything's on sale. I just had a look then and silver bullets are going for $130. Prior to them being re-released now, like, I want to say they were going for like $400, $500. Crazy. I think when it comes to what happened, say, post-pandemic, where everyone was buying up dunks, lows, mids, and just trying to resell it for whatever they can, right? In some aspects, some pairs sold for like $400. In other aspects, you're making $20 on it. That's done. People aren't buying it. There's 100 colorways of Jordan 1 lows, mids, and dunks at every store at the moment. The only thing that's really going to survive this, in my opinion, all my opinion, but this is what I've been watching, is your brick and mortar stores that have built up their customer base. They've built up relationships. They offer something different, whether it's the marketing they do on social media, or maybe they got their own merch, maybe they got different things, stuff like that. If you look at some of the bigger players, like a Common Hype, they built up their name within the YouTube and everything. It's based around sneakers, don't get me wrong, but then they do their own merch where the margins are going to be 1,000 times better than what they're getting from sneakers. Just is what it is. I came from a retail background, and I remember, like, when I first started seeing people spend $200 to make $50, I'm just like, that doesn't really add up to me, because you're doing all that type of work to make $50, and how long did it take you to make that $50? If you break it all down, most of the time it's minimum wage. So, as we said before, everything is sitting. whether it be Jordan 1s, Jordan 2s, 3s, even 4s now have died off. There was that little bit of hype around the military black, the midnight navy, and then subsequently most 4s after that, the black canvas definitely, 4s became hype, which was crazy because for years 4s were not hype. Your OG sneakerheads bought them and that was it. 3s still somehow managed to like get away from all of that. Even the reimagined white cement 3s, if that had dropped a couple years ago in the midst of the hype with the story around that probably goes a little bit more nuts. Yeah, there's definitely been some 3s that have, like the Armaniers, but one thing that really blew me away was when you would say the Jordan 1 high has been one of the quintessential hype type sneakers for this world, right? When these dropped, there really wasn't too much hype and there was hardly any resell, which was crazy because in terms of a Jordan 1 and the quality that had been coming out for the last couple of years, this is probably the best quality. The leather is super, super butter. I remember you could have bought these on Sneaker Dunk for retail, maybe even a couple bucks under retail. It's only sort of now they've gone a little bit, but that comes down to, you know, a couple of years later. What's this? This was last year. So a year on, there's more pairs that have been worn than say that have been kept to the side. So, but even something like this, again, really clean colorway, the black toe. These were sitting. These were sitting. These, I want to say, I didn't really see out too much. You could buy them if you put some work. These sat everywhere. Again, really good quality. Really nice colorway. Jordan 1s, if these came out a year prior, maybe 2 years ago, a year and a half to 2 years, these would be reselling for like $400 or $500. I've said it before, I'll say it again. If that had a Red Supreme logo right there, you would all be going nuts and trying to sell this for $1,000. But take them pairs away, right? If we look at the Sail Pale Vanilla, that off-white, aged aesthetic, again, a year to 2.5, maybe even 6 months ago, that goes nuts. 100% sold out everywhere. It is still sitting on sneakers. Now, I can't even remember the last pair that I won on sneakers. For the most part, I don't even go in the raffles anymore because it's impossible. Now, not so much. The black and smoke, the quality on these, I've only seen from images. I haven't seen in hand yet. I guarantee when I go to Sydney, I'll be able to have a look at these in hand. But they look really nice. They're just really nice. No one cares. No one cares. It's done. The market has essentially collapsed, and part of it is due to the world around us, the economy, everything like that. When interest rates are rising, the housing crisis, everything is rising around us, the last thing you're thinking about is luxuries like sneakers, right? Even myself, I've probably reeled it in. Last week I did an episode about like 9 pairs in a couple weeks, but that's majority of what I bought this year, to be honest. Outside of that, I've been pretty chill, and I've been moving on a couple pairs that maybe I've worn, maybe I haven't worn, and I'm just like, you know, it's time to freshen it up. Things that I will wear. The white cement lows even, like Jordan 1 lows, the plasticky leather type lows were going so nuts for so long, like, it's insane. There's certain dunks, there's a white with a grey swoosh dunk, that if that had come out 6 months prior, you would be trying to sell it for $400. It's such a clean colorway. Even though dunks have essentially got some of the worst quality leather, especially the GR type dunks. When you're looking at, say, the Co.JP colorways that came out, a little bit better quality. But SB dunks, better quality. But part of it is the economy, but part of it also is the oversaturation. Now, whether it be Nike is, okay, this is working, we need to pump this as much as we can, or that artificial influx based around resellers just buying up everything they see and them not really getting a guide of the numbers that they actually need to be able to sell. I think it's kind of a mix of all three, if I'm being honest. But you're seeing it wherever you go, and you can say these are bricked or whatever. Me personally, I don't really like the term brick because I like what I like. I don't really care. If another person's opinion shaped how I felt about something, well, it just never happened, to be honest. Even when they brought the Air Max 1 back, right? And they do this. I've done a video on how Nike reintroduced silhouettes and everything like that. They did reintroduce it slowly through collabs, then brought out some like hype, limited colorways, and now you're starting to see GRs. The Big Bubble Air Max 1 is something really only heavy OGs that knew the backstory back then knew about. I don't even think, purely because of the timing, if they had just done the normal Air Max 1 University Red that we've come to know, if it would have been any different. But if you go on any boutique website right now, you can get the Big Bubbles under retail. They're all on special. Crazy. I've got them. They're nice. I would probably prefer the normal silhouette that we all know and love in that colorway, but I love the storytelling as well, so I'm a sucker for all that. Now, the people that probably made a couple bucks over these last couple of years, for the most part, they were on a bandwagon. These aren't people that really cared about sneakers 2 years ago, 3 years ago, well, 3, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, whatever. And the way I saw that was when sneakers initially started dropping off, not to the point where it is now, and people started doing PS5s, and you'd see posts where like, oh, I've got all these sneakers plus I've got 5 PS5s, because the people that this has attracted, they're just latching on to, oh, this is a quick way to make money. They're not invested in the sneakers. And that's where I say the brick and mortar stores that have built their businesses up, built their clientele, their social media, outside of that, if they're selling their own merch, things like that, if they've been around longer than, say, 2018, chances are they're still going to be around. They've put the work in. And as much as I'm not a big proponent of resell, you can't not go into like a store like Kicks TW or, I'm blanking, and see what they've curated. Because it is like a curation. You see like signed Black Cement 3s by Tinker Hatfield. You see thousands and thousands of different shoes and it's so crazy to be able to see that many shoes in one place. I enjoy seeing that. Am I going to pay 5 times more than retail for any of those pairs? No, I'm not, but I enjoy going there. And I'm sure there are people that are, because they wouldn't be in business if there wasn't. As much as it is dead, there will be people that will roll with the punches because they've seen these type of ebbs and flows before. Not so much of the heights that we got to, but this is probably bringing it back to a reality check in some sorts. And don't get me wrong, like as much as resellers have been eating, Nike's been eating. Look at the Panda Dunk. They've basically got to a point where I'm seeing restocks every other week. I'm pretty sure even my Nike store that never stocked any sort of Dunks, Jordans, anything, now have Panda Dunks and they're just sitting on shelves. This is something that resold for, like, at the heights, I want to say about $400 or $500. People are lucky to make 20 bucks on them now. Again, don't get me wrong. You love to see it. I'm not mad at it at all. But it is interesting. Because while there is that aspect of it, there is still like your unicorns where you get the SB4, the orange lobsters. Even New Balance seems to have more resell value than say Nike and Jordan releases. You look at the Action Bronson joints. That's a $360 shoe, but they're still being sold $500-600. I think for the most part, the kind of last stand before this final kill shot was the lost and found, because prior to that there really wasn't too much happening, and then it was like it was already on the way down, and then lost and found shot it back up for a second, then back straight back down. It was kind of the last stand, and honestly I'm not sure what these people, they're going to be having fire sales soon, to be honest, and I'm already starting to see it. Oh, I want to clear my stock and all this type of stuff. There's no sympathy. I mean, if you want to make some money now, I guess you're trying to get Taylor Swift tickets or something, because they're going nuts for some reason. Not my type of music. And while I do still feel like there will be people doing this, I don't think it will be as many people going into stores trying to buy up every dunk, trying to buy up every mid, whatever. There will still be people camping out and going into raffles, and if they win, they'll be selling it as they do. Like a Doritos SB dunk, like the SB4, like the Bam Bams. I can't think of anything coming up that's gonna have that, but yeah, even like collabs seem to be oversaturated. There was a time where like a collab was something special. Now there's like a collab every other week. Even the Yeezy coming back, the old take it away, make you miss me, and then bring it back. People bought up so many pairs trying to resell, but the problem was there was so many pairs released in one place that everyone hit. But again, for us, the sneaker collectors, not a bad thing. Being able to walk into a store, seeing something that you like and purchasing it then and there, even trying it on prior, there's nothing better for us. So for me, I think it's great. What I do hope to see is a less is more type of thing from the companies. I want to see Jordan not do 50 colorways of a silhouette throughout the year. And in some cases it's probably more. Go 10. Focus on the quality. Just do big numbers. Wasn't it crazy at one point, the orange label SB joints, they were trying to get 400 for them. And they said at the start, we're going to be restocking them and restocking them. I managed to get all three. I'm stoked. I'm stoked. And there's probably people that managed to get all three in multiple pairs that are now sitting on it, just with the rest of their stuff. Lightning 4s, nobody cared. I haven't been to Sydney in a minute. I guarantee if I go down there, it wouldn't be too hard to find some Lightning 4s. Or any of the Jordan 1s that I mentioned. I personally want to see the white cement Jordan 1 lows in person. I'm going to try them on, and if I enjoy them, I might buy them. How good's that? I don't know, man. For me, it's never been really anything that I've cared about. Don't get me wrong, I've had pairs, I've sold pairs. I bought stuff in the moment just because I didn't realize I was going to see it. When the pandemic was going on and everyone was going so nuts over mids and lows and everything like that, I bought just about every mid and low in Foot Locker, almost antagonizing resellers based on that, going, it wasn't that hard to buy because Newcastle was open and I could do that. That was a privilege. What people were cashing in on was that fear of missing out. If you enjoy sneakers, if you enjoy that aesthetic, and then you're seeing these awesome shoes pop up on Facebook, but you can't get them, you might pay 20 bucks, you might pay 50 bucks in some aspects, and people obviously did, a couple of $100 over. Is what it is. I don't think there'll ever be a time where it is completely gone. But I would say the days of every little kid trying to be a reseller, it's done, man. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. Maybe you resell, maybe you don't. Maybe I'm full of shit. This is what I've been witnessing. I'm seeing everything on shelves. And if I'm not, maybe it sells out. In America, it's not selling out. I can get it on Sneaker Dunk, still, retail. It's a good time to be a sneakerhead, man. This has been another episode of Creased. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. We'll be back twice a week. Peace.